You know it's about to be fire when Wayne do that flicker at the beginning. So you know what I'm telling you. I'm about to have one of those hot boy episodes. 500 degrees. You hear it in the booth. That's beautiful. And that's some gas. It's Alien Labs. Ooh wee. Wow. All 30,000.
They're still coming out live, but
We're gonna get the 30. All 30.
news is gonna spread.
Share this with your whole high school, your whole college. Everybody just go mass shoot it to all your old professors. We're gonna get the 30,000 within the first 30 minutes. We do that. I got a surprise for everybody. Bobby Doja in the house. Bobby Doja likes surprises. Ladies and gentlemen, I am sitting here with an amazing group, and we're about to get right into it right after this break. Ah. Yes, 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 yes. I am back. Look at that. We here with the 30,000 people. Ladies and gentlemen, I plus two. Please, please grab the mic, please. Robert, please introduce yourselves.
Hey, so I'm Robert Brodnick, uh, founder and CEO of Titan Laboratories, and this is my partner and wife, Kelsey Brodnick.
Hi.
Okay. What is Titan Labs?
Titan Labs, we do cannabis testing, so we're one of the 9 or 10 fully licensed Arizona DHS laboratories able to do all the compliance testing that's required for dispensary sales in the marijuana program here in Arizona.
You said there's less than 10?
There are 10, I think.
There are 10.
9 or 10.
Holy shit.
That's it.
That's a lot of work for y'all.
Well, there's a lot more vying to get into the game, but
Okay.
there's a barrier to entry. You have to obtain your ISO 17025 accreditation and then work with the.
What is that? Because you just went super physics, chemistry, language. It went over my head,
that's
even
nothing.
though I
This
really
is
love
regulations. We'll get to the chemistry and the physics.
So what is this certification you have to get?
So there's kind of two pieces of certification that are. Oh, guys.
Sorry, I fumbled.
My bad.
I fumbled the jizzy.
That was me.
There's kind of two main elements of our approval
Okay.
to do this kind of testing. The first element is ISO 17025 accreditation.
Okay.
That's the international quality standard for laboratories.
So
I mean, that's
I'm
food laboratories.
I'm just going to be
that's fine.
times.
Oh, yeah.
Just prepare for that.
You got it.
International standards. So I mean, you're potentially one day you'll be certified to test weed from Canada or Mexico. Should we choose to import those kind of weeds?
Yeah, we could absolutely help those clients internationally as well. And that is the point of the certification, accreditation actually for laboratories. You got to make sure all laboratories around the world are kind of doing the same thing.
Okay.
And that's what provides that consistency. And that's where the accreditation piece comes. That is an international standard. It goes a step further, though, in Arizona. The Department of Health Services has to license the laboratory after they go in and actually look at all the science firsthand as well. So it's after you get your accreditation, you're basically a food laboratory. You can test any kind of product from anywhere in the world.
Oh, so
But
it's not just cannabis products.
but to take cannabis especially, you
Okay.
need to be licensed by the Department of Health here in Arizona. And then in order to perform those tests, you have to demonstrate the competency to them. And they come and they look under the hood, and it's a long process.
Okay.
But eventually you get through it, and that's why there's only 9 or 10 laboratories now able to do this in Arizona. A lot more want to be into the game. It costs a lot of money to get into it. It's a capital intensive.
About without pocket watching, about how much does it cost to start up a lab out here in the state of Arizona?
Well, now that with inflation added, I would say probably $3.5 to $6 million.
3.5 to 6 million.
Yeah, that's the baseline. 3 million
Holy
bucks.
fuck!
I would tell people, 2, 3 years ago, $3 million is the baseline, and you better have a team that knows exactly what they're doing.
But what kind of ROI are you getting off of that? Because like you said, it's a barrier to entry. So right now it's 10 testing facilities with 150 or 160 dispensaries.
Yeah,
So everybody has to come to somebody, right?
that's
Is
right.
there like any rules or regulations that make certain dispensaries in certain areas come to your facility, or is it free range all over the state?
No, the only requirement is that the DHS has approved us to
Okay.
test, and so it's up to us to go visit the client. We send couriers out to get the samples, and we have a presence all across the state. But so the other laboratories do as well.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, the client gets to decide which laboratory to go to. It's a service. Now it's kind of an elite club. Only a few of us have gotten to the point where the lab is up and running and qualified and doing the work that's required to sell product in the dispensary.
Right.
But you still have to compete on the merits. You have to put out consistent results. You have to be an exceptional value, and you have to be able to basically be the emergency room for the cannabis space. Anytime there's a problem, with a contaminant or some inconsistency in manufacturing, we got to be there to do it and to fix it and to help solve the problem.
Yeah.
And if the laboratory is not approaching it that way, then they're not a long-term partner. So it's
there for the cash grab.
yeah, because there is that opportunity. Once you qualify, you can run all sorts of tests, but the DHS might show up and ask to look at the data one day, and if it's not there, you will never recover from that reputation. Everybody will know who you are, and sometimes you might get some business because money still counts, and people will go to the low budget selling free tests. But there's some sustainability issues with having poor quality, and more importantly, um, you know a lack of transparency in your testing.
Okay.
And you really just got to have the right culture within your laboratory, and that's kind of the long-term solution. And if you're focused on the right things like we are, you know patient health and safety,
Yeah.
you're
I
going
was
to
about
get
to
it
say,
right.
what's your number one priority
That's it.
as a testing facility?
Patient health and safety.
Okay.
Getting the answer right, knowing that the consumer can have confidence in this industry that we're trying to establish. Because if you have a recall, that's usually an indication that something's gone wrong. But something has gone right. The regulators have found something that's not right.
So it's not always a bad thing that you're
No.
calling stuff back. Like you said, for the most part, we want to make sure that the patients are ingesting stuff that is not detrimental to their health. And, I'm huge on that. That's what we were talking about before. And I got really into testing because I started finding out there was so much shit in these weeds, and that like one thing I used to be told was like, oh yeah, you got some good shit if it's burning white ashes. But then what's in the shit that's not burning white ashes? And why am I getting shit on that's not burning white ashes? So I need to learn. I know that that's just one thing to it, but I know it goes super in depth to a lot of stuff. Let's start talking about what's inside of cannabis.
Okay.
Because obviously you know that. And you find a lot of shit inside of cannabis, I would assume, and sometimes things that you shouldn't find in cannabis. What are some harmful chemicals that you found in cannabis? Not calling any companies or any growers or anything out, but just like what are some toxins that have been found in plants and stuff that humans shouldn't be consuming, and why testing should be important?
Well, that the reason the tests that are in place are and across most states, you see about the same testing happen. I mean, some of the levels change, some of the individual compounds or microbiological, contaminants might change a little bit, but generally, we're interested in those things that, along the way, we have all sorts of anecdotal evidence about how cannabis is safe, right? But what are the ways it's harmed, people? And that's with, heavy metals. The plant does a really good job of pulling up heavy metals. I can talk to you a little bit about that, but that creates a
Please.
source.
Because when you said heavy metals, I was thinking head banging.
No, I'm talking about lead and cadmium and arsenic. The contaminants that are called out in the regulations that can't be there, mercury. And the reason is that they're toxic to humans.
Okay.
And why do we care about it in cannabis? Well, the cannabis plant does a good job of pulling things out of the soil. It's actually used in remediation as hemp,
right?
For the government. So knowing that it does a good job at it, well, there's a risk there. What if you get some soil that's got high lead or mercury or something? Totally nobody's fault, but it pulls it up. We've got to be screening and looking for it. Exactly. It's the same thing, applies with pesticides, and there's tons of compounds that are used for different reasons. You shouldn't be using them in the cannabis grow, or if you are, they have to be those that go away and aren't there by the time you sell it.
Yeah.
But that's what the test is there for. It's another contaminant test. Same with processing solvents. With vapes, you got to make sure the butane's going. We get a little more complicated on the microbiological side because these aren't just residues that can be cleaned up or wiped away. They grow and they multiply. And it's highly dependent on the conditions and the food that's around and the moisture and things like that. And that's where I think we have a real opportunity in the cannabis space to leverage things that we know from other places like food testing to make a difference.
Wow. That's dope. Excuse me. I was getting a little dry over in the throat. But
we brought you. We didn't bring you a water. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Got one on the way. I was getting dry watching you talk. I'm like, shit.
Yeah,
he needs a drink of water.
Parch. And I was thinking about, man, how many metals have I consumed in my life? Scary.
Right?
And like we hear and talk about the fucking GOAT, Bobby Dozier. Can I make some noise for Bobby real quick? Bobby, thank you. Love you, Bobby. Bobby always holding it down here at Elevations Lounge. The best host in the game. Back to our talk. Metals. And how is this something that somebody would be able to tell if their weed is contaminated with different levels of metals, or what besides mold, what are some signs that somebody can tell that they have gotten some contaminated weed?
That's the thing with chemistry and microbiology at the levels that we even care about, which are really, really low. You don't see it. It's not present with the negative. I mean, there's a lot of things you can look at and say, oh, that doesn't look right. Usually when you're saying that about food, it was days ago that you wouldn't have eaten it already, kind of the same thing. Some of the levels with respect to metals are just borrowed from other industries like spinach. Like, well, what does the USDA allow for spinach, or what are the recommended levels the EPA cares about with pesticides and other things? And then let's not forget that we're inhaling this. So the route of administration is, aside from
what is safe for the lung.
Well, I mean, aside from injecting it into the blood, that's like the next most risky, route of bringing something into your body if you have a contaminant. We're not eating it now; it's not food. Right. So we got to think about these levels a little bit and just set them way, way low, like the per se level. So if you fail a test, the way to really know, check the QR code on the side of the product. It should take you right to the certificate of analysis, and it will all say not detected. Or if there's some trace amounts of the contaminants there, they're below the action limit, that's actually fine. You can be assured that that's at least what the Department of Health considers safe. Okay. And they're the ones who make that judgment. We just report it. So basically all the testing, parameters are such that, if it's passing, it's well below what everybody who knows anything about this has assessed to be a risk.
Okay. Perfect. Well, we've talked enough about that. I do want to get into some of the scripted questions I have.
Okay.
I That's dope. And we got another thing that we're going to talk about with that Terp company that you got coming up right now. But I do want you to let the people know a website where they can find more about your company.
Okay, our websites are kind of new and clunky, but we're improving them. Titanlab.net. That's TITANLAB singular.net.
And it's right at the bottom of the screen
Hey.
for you 20,000 folks that are watching right now.
Up to 20, that's good.
Yes, we're up to 20. We're getting to 30. I said
What'd you say, 10 minutes, 15 minutes?
I said 30,000 by 30 minutes.
30 minutes. We can get there.
We can do it.
We're
We can
well
do
within
it.
the window.
We can do it.
Keep calling your high school buddies. Keep
Yeah.
posting this, whatever you guys do.
Keep sharing this on your TikToks.
The TikToks.
And hashtagging. Well, you can't even hashtag cannabis and coffee because it'll get you banned on TikTok. That's a shame. So, back to this company and the beautiful project that you've put together. How did you initially gain funding for your startup?
For
For
the laboratory?
For the Titan Labs.
It's a fun story.
Oh, long, fun story. You got to kiss a lot of frogs. And you got to surround yourself with the right people.
Okay.
And eventually the right people, find you. And, the funding partners are just another member of the team, really. But everyone has to be marching to the same beat and believe in the same mission.
Yeah.
And then, the economics just make sense. It's like, okay, I'm definitely putting money into this. And it's like, why would
I
you?
believe
That's
in
how
this
people
vision,
feel.
so I'm going to invest in it.
They get there. So really, we didn't, if you just go looking for investors, you're not going to find them, because they know that, you're not going to be a partner. And if you treat it like a partnership and you work through all the issues just like you would with your operational team, the people doing the work, then it's a completely different, scenario, and just the things just kind of happen. And, it's always a struggle to raise money. I mean, you're in the cannabis industry, you're literally perpetually always raising money. Yeah. There's never a time when you're not looking at how we're going to grow, because consolidation is happening, in the market and the testing market too. So the idea is get as, strong as you can and be a nice,
the way you can stand on your own against
right,
the big fish.
Yeah, or be acquired by the big fish, or be a big fish on your own too.
Yeah. Right.
And all those are your options. But to do that, you have to constantly. You don't just raise money and then peace out. I mean, if you've got some success, that means you need to be leveraging it in this industry and growing faster. So you're basically always recruiting, partners and finances. But that's the hard thing. It's got to be the right people first, not the right just money. Money doesn't matter. People matter.
Okay. So I'm wondering if that thought right there that you just said, money doesn't matter, the people matter, did that play a role in why you started a testing facility? So my next question is, what was the motivation behind your business?
That's so interesting. I mean, it was kind of out of necessity, like when I left the military.
Mm-hmm. Which I saw that, by the way. Thank you for your service. I saw that you were a veteran. I was like, this is fucking amazing. I need to learn more about that as well. So if you do have time, we'll definitely talk more about your service.
I'll give you the 30 seconds. So I was in the military. So I got a PhD in chemistry, and then went in the military, the Medical Services Corps. Had a whole bunch of different assignments, from chemical and biological defense to combat casualty care, running laboratories in Afghanistan and hospitals, to running counter narcotics laboratories and doing urine drug testing and getting up on the witness stand and talking about the results in cases involving service members, human performance and behavior, and drugs of abuse, both for the defense and for the government. So defending the labs and going after the labs. So I really just got a passion for quality systems in the labs and how they perform in court and how robust they can be, and how you can have really what I consider high reliability testing with really, really good systems. But then layer on top of that all these cases I was involved in with, humans.
Yeah.
And people getting into stuff. And usually when the drugs are detected, it's too late. Their lives are already falling apart. And so I get called up on the witness stand to talk about, sexual assault and innocent ingestion.
Yeah.
And, how long does cocaine stay in your system? Or does Do cannabinoids make it through the breast milk? Things like that. And those questions come up all the time. And so I basically took that, got into food safety for a little bit, and then realized that there was a need for laboratories. And there's just a big, wide open hole in labs that are reliable, consistent, produce data that is basically defendable, defensible data. That's all the regulators ever really ask for. And everybody acts like it's a huge challenge, but really just show your work.
Yeah.
That's all it comes. And be, an experienced, systems operator. But then take something out of the food safety industry and treat the customer like it matters, because your success is completely dependent on the client and their product, and time is money. So you got to be there to respond and to fix the issues. And so all those things together were missing in the cannabis space. And our team, got together and started consulting and fixing labs, and then said, you know what, we should do this. And then, like I said, time and place.
Yeah.
The phone rang and we talked to a few dispensary heads here in Tucson about a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
And then we took a bet, and our whole team just said, we're moving to Tucson and we're doing this. And
Hell yeah.
if you build it, they will come.
That's exactly true. That is exactly true. If you build it, they'll come. That's fucking dope, man. Congratulations, man. You took that leap of faith. And
well, I mean, if Kelsey wasn't there every step, I would be not above ground at this point. I mean, like, building this laboratory, I mean, talk about inventory and all the things you do. I mean, you run the laboratory for us.
Please.
It's exciting stuff. So I'm the intake manager. I will handle all samples that anyone brings in.
Yes.
All
super
inventory.
fun.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I keep it organized. A little bit of client management, but that's mostly him. And yeah, that's pretty much all I do.
So, we talk about inventory.
Mhm.
I was told that you only have to submit dispensaries only have to submit. I think it was 10 or 11 grams for a sample size.
Yeah, it changes. It depends on
changes.
what kind of sample it is. If it's a flower sample, oil.
Yeah, that's if it's a flower
edible.
sample, right?
Mhm.
What do they have to submit if it's an oil sample?
If it's an oil sample,
No,
I believe
a
it's
gram per test, basically. That's
yeah,
driving it.
yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
How much testing we have to do, and then to be able to redo it too if we have to.
Exactly. So we
Okay.
need double. Usually, we request that they bring double. That way, if we need to run a retest, we can do that.
That's what I was
Yeah.
about to ask. Like, do you think that having such a little amount would be able to test for the whole lot? Is it
That's-
possible to have patches of very quality flour?
He knows
and
so much
then
more than I do about sampling.
inconsistent?
Yeah,
Okay.
because it was really different in California, and that's where we were starting.
Okay.
So the labs go and do the sampling, and like you do
At
training
the facility?
Yeah, so
Oh,
you know how
wow.
to sample, because that's a technique in itself. So that really depends on what your results are going to be for that entire batch.
Oh, and you're
So
not
if-
just getting some pretty picture that the
Exactly. So if you're
dispo
getting just the
company sent you.
tops, yeah, the most beautiful, crystally,
Yeah.
nugget, you're getting that to test, and that's your representative for that entire batch. It's not
Yeah.
a true representative. Sometimes
Okay.
it can be, but
'Cause
he knows way more than I do.
When I first heard this, I was like, wait, that shouldn't be like that. I want to be sure
Yeah.
that, people are actually testing a quality thing. Because I feel like you could have damn near a whole crop go bad, and then you have 2-3 plants that are good enough to go through testing, and then you can push all of that through.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah.
That's 100%, and it does happen. And like, the question is really, how much do you want your government involved? If they dictate sampling to us like they do in California, that's fine. That causes us to go out to the client. I'll say the producer doesn't like that because they have a little less control of their own fate. And if we look over to the food industry and look at like Tyson Foods, they
Yeah.
have their own laboratories, ISO 17025 laboratories within their manufacturer. They do all their own testing.
Oh.
But they take on the risk for protecting human health and like keeping their QA systems at arm's length and all that stuff that they have to do to use the data for how you're supposed to. If you find something, you take action on it. And there are people in jail in the food industry, like Peanut Corporation of America, Stuart Parnell, for making the wrong decision in that moment. So in the cannabis space, every state comes up, they have to say, well, what do we want to trust people with? And right now, sampling is, with the manufacturer. And, we hear about, your potency's, different than this lab. Or, it's like, well, no one has more control over that than the people submitting the sample, especially in this state. But you really want it to be a representative sample,
Yeah.
both for quality and for safety purposes. But this is something that the manufacturers and the cultivators, it's a risk that they're born with here because of the way the regulations are. Now that said, we can come out and help because we know what right looks like, and we can give some guidance on what a good sampling program looks like, because that's really, if you're trying to mitigate something that's going on in your grow, you want a good consistent sampling anyway. Otherwise you won't be able to use the data. It's like throwing darts at a dartboard with your eyes closed. It's like,
Right.
yeah, I got to collect that consistent data. Sampling, like Kelsey said,
And if
is
you're
where it starts.
contaminating the sample, so if you're not doing an aseptic technique when you collect a sample, you might be contaminating it with something like aspergillus
Oh boy.
or something like that. Like the things that dispensaries or people collecting that sample just don't know.
Yeah.
It's handy to have that information, I think.
So what would be? Let's pretend right here. I got this plant here. I've been growing this, and I'm about to send this. Off to you all for a sample.
Right.
Can you walk me through what I need to clip for you?
As far as clipping goes, I don't know that.
Well, let's see.
Or what
Economically speaking,
Okay.
you want to take the very, very tippy top.
Okay.
Just that.
Just that.
Send that to the lab, and you'll be good to go.
Oh, perfect.
That's where all the
huge...
high. That's where all the high potency is, right at the top, right?
I was about to say, but that's huge.
Don't do that. Don't do that, because you're gonna get the answer that you expect. You're gonna get that.
Right,
you're gonna get the highest testing result that this plant, this genotype and this phenotype could give you, and that you've produced, right? So, if you want it to represent the whole batch, you got to be up and down.
Okay.
And in and out of the grow too. But if it's just this one sample, or this one plant, I would just go in.
But like we got a whole row of them.
Yeah, so I would take the top off of this one. I'd go a few plants down, take the middle off of that. I'd go inside, take one off the middle. One off the top, one off the bottom of the next corner. And the idea is just to have a geometric spread.
Okay.
Now the only way, and you asked an important question. How much do you take, and is it enough? The only way you can be a 100% sure, 100% confidence limit that there's no contaminant in that batch is to test 100% of that batch.
Oh.
Right? And so if you back off from that, there's things we figured out in the food safety industry of, how you can statistically sample your product to give you a 95% confidence interval that if it's there, because we're looking for a needle in the haystack, right?
Right.
And so you got to assume there's a few needles. So you got to have a chance of finding it. You don't grab enough hay, you're never going to find it. If you grab one corner and you only got 5 needles, of course you're not going to find it, right? If you grab a little bit here, you see how your probability goes up. And you take the same amount of small sample even. So you can keep those numbers low. Now, like in California, like Kelsey mentioned, you got to turn in like almost 1% of the batch, like 1% of your product that you would sell. Like it's like ounces that go per batch.
Nice.
Yeah, and just gets thrown away in California.
Yeah.
Here, we have a reasonable amount. We're not throwing too much away.
That was my next question, because obviously me as a smoker and not wanting to let any of this beautiful flower go to waste.
Yeah. It's not a waste though, because it's.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. How damaged does the product get during the testing?
Destroyed. And whatever isn't destroyed, because we only use a small amount, consume a small amount for the analytical portion. But whatever isn't destroyed, we do destroy.
Yeah, it's all destroyed.
Yeah, so it's.
Do you ever see some shit that you've tested and you be like, oh damn, we need to go try that and go hit, go.
Yep.
Sure.
Go right to the dispensary and pick it up.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Wow, this is so much to learn about this testing, and about the beautiful things that we put in our body. So, military, then you went and you started this venture. How did you two meet? Where did this come along?
This
Because of the military.
this is how I keep it safe. I hand the microphone.
I'll keep it
First
fast.
story is the one I'm sticking by.
Short and sweet. Okay. He was stationed in Hawaii, which is where I grew up. And I was going to school on Oahu, and we met over there and hit it off. And yeah,
That's the story.
I've just followed him everywhere since, and it's been great.
Nice.
My best friend, you know?
Been
Yeah.
building and manifesting together this time.
Yeah.
She's been there with every single. I'm good at the moment. Thank you. She's been there with every single one of these. You see some, spark of success here, but it's, there have been way more failures in the background with consulting companies and, the flavor companies and getting things going and figure out people, what they want and need in the industry, and then finding the right region to go to. And she's, been there building it with me from the very start. And she built this lab from the ground up.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So
That's
it's,
Yeah, we're trying to create something for future generations.
Generational wealth.
Honestly, you know what I mean.
You know,
And for
something.
anyone that is on our team right now, they know that. Like, we want to bring them along just as much. So,
That's great. Congratulations
Oh, thanks,
on
man.
the success now and for the years to come.
I
you know?
appreciate that, man. You too.
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, definitely. If I had a drink, I'd toast, and
Yes.
But then we're gonna toast this water. That's what we toast.
That's right.
So, we talked about that. How do you build a successful customer base?
Consistency and, just them knowing that you're going to do anything to take care of their brand and to protect them. I mean, this is an industry unlike any other. I mean, but you can look at some others that, can show you what right looks like. And we looked at the food service industry. I learned so much from my time at Food Safety Net. Their CEO, John Bellinger, and others, taught me what was so important about taking care of the manufacturer and, their issues and making those the laboratory issues. And once you really start to embody that and teach it into the culture, you start to build those long-term relationships. So even, because labs aren't, they're not infallible, things happen, there's discord in results, or there's big problems, there's actual contamination, and, you got to work through all those things. And if you don't have trust, then, they're just going to bounce and go to the next lab with the next deal going on. But I mean, people that come to us know that we're in it for the long haul. And when things go sideways, and they do sometimes, we're going to work through it and we're going to get it right.
So, what does a failed test look like? Say I bring you something that's like contaminated. What are the first steps that you all have to take as a lab if you come across a contaminated sample?
Here in Arizona, our responsibility is reporting the certificate analysis and, giving those results to the client for them to take action on it. So there's, other than making sure that our data is defensible, and then reporting as we're supposed to, that's basically it. It's up to the manufacturers, the cultivators, to remediate as necessary. And, there's some things you can remediate and some things that you cannot. So
there's nothing stating that y'all have to report that to AZDHS?
So, I think that's probably coming down at some point. I mean,
I was about to say, if not, then how would you feel if that was the case?
That's fine.
As a
That's
consumer, I feel like if the FDA, if they find something in the meat, they got to report that to the government agency, right?
The USDA, yeah.
I mean, the USDA. I said FDA.
Well, no. Well, it's only because you said meat. Most products are taken care of by FDA, but yeah, you gotta report to the consumer. We've seen where that doesn't happen quite fast enough, despite evidence to the contrary. Look at the baby food issue. That was, in my opinion, something the FDA could have probably acted on a little bit faster. But look at the industry and look at the people that are out there. You get this novel cannabis industry in a new state, and every new state's a new experiment. They can only enforce as fast as the laboratories are reliable. Okay. So it's like, you got to wait for the whole thing to mature together, and you got to try to be part of that solution.
Still early stages.
It's
Even
early
just
stages.
Like the cannabis industry, it's still early stages.
It's early stages.
Very, and that's one thing that I'm super excited about, is that how early on we are, and once legalization starts to happen, or decriminalization starts to happen throughout the country, throughout the world, see how not only does testing evolve, but how does marketing evolve and transparency.
Right.
You know, people are going to buy weed all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but
But then you'll have options like wine.
exactly,
But you still want the QR code on the side that says these are the test results.
exactly. I need to know what's in
Mhm.
my weed.
And
I
you're-
always thought it was weird that before 2020, the testing wasn't mandatory out here.
I thought that was weird
I
too.
was like, yo, what the hell? Like,
Right, the medical
because like when I
program.
first got my medical card, it was out in San Diego, and everybody's like, they were testing back there and all, everything.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like, I come out here and it's like, wait,
I was shocked.
what's on this package?
I read the
It
regulations.
would look like this Stizzy lighter.
Yeah.
Is-
Yeah.
It's
Right.
like, all right, you got your shit. There you go. All right, fam. I'm gonna trust it.
That's how
Yeah.
but that's when I read the regulations. The first set that came out. I can't remember what it is. Before we moved here, there's a section like reserved for testing, and there's just blank. And I felt about the same way. I'm like, well, there goes all your teeth. Like House Bill 2050 didn't pass recently, and I don't know that much about the ins and outs of it. It was a cannabis bill.
2050?
Yeah, it had a bunch of provisions in it to improve some things in the industry. I'm going to get out of my depth really fast, but one of the things they had was the ability for the DHS to do a secret shopper program for testing. So to go buy stuff off the dispensary shelves, send it to another lab, and see if we're getting the right answer. And that's like really, what we're doing now with testing is good, but it's feels like quality assurance. It's really quality control. It's like, you pass and it goes. It's the aftermarket testing that I think has got a little more teeth around it. So things are improving steadily. And, other states, have different basically requirements for those kinds of things. And I think we're seeing, we're trying to go down the right path here in Arizona.
Okay. That's beautiful to hear. And you're optimistic about the outlook of the trajectory of where we're going with the bills and the testing. 1 second. We're gonna be right back right after this break. Ladies and gentlemen, we are having a really dope time, a dope conversation, and guess what is brought to you by good water and good weed. Enjoy life, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy life. That's what I want you to do. Yes, I am sitting here with some legends. You are tuned into another episode of Cannabis and Coffee with LaTosque, and I am live here at the Elevations Lounge. We will be back in just 60 seconds.
Good.
Yeah. We back. We back. And we are live once again. Ladies and gentlemen, all 25,000 of you all.
Wow. We're almost there.
We're going to make it.
Yeah.
We're a little past 30 minutes, but
It's all right.
Close
Sorry.
enough.
25,000. Make some noise. What's your favorite way to medicate?
Oh, yeah.
Say it
What
again.
is it? What's your favorite way to medicate?
A nice big bolski with some keef.
Oh,
Yeah.
a little keefed out bowl. What about
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, I'll usually smoke a bowl. A little bit less aggressive at night, though,
Yeah.
than Kelsey. I'm more of a morning,
Ah,
get clear,
I love
get
a
my
sativa.
body cracking apart so I'm not walking on my bones anymore.
Uh huh.
So that's like the first part of my morning, and then when it's required. But
Okay. And then you more of a heady, like you need an indica.
Yeah, nighttime
Oh,
nightcap,
wow.
little nightcap. action.
Nightcap. Okay. So you two balance each other out.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
What about you?
I love a sativa. Blue Dream,
Mhm.
Maui Wowie,
Yes.
some White Widow,
Ooh.
XJ,
XJ13.
high terpinolene.
Oh.
It can be sedative, but for whatever reason, it does. It's like the perfect combination.
I need to
Jack
find
Herrera
I need
too.
to find a dispo out here that has a real
I
good
know.
XJ.
Haven't been able to find it since we lived in California, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You know who else got what was it? I think it's Cheetah Piss.
Yeah.
That's,
There's been a
Is
few
that
around.
that's a good one.
Is it?
Yeah.
I-
I like
Okay,
it's
okay.
really stinky, but
Yeah.
it's good.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
good.
Fair enough.
It's good. At least the pack I had was good. It was the cookies pack.
I
So
believe you.
Right on.
it was,
Believe
yeah. Wow. I guess we are going to get back into these questions. We got a few questions left before we hop into the rapid round. So the rapid round is going to be super fun. I'm going to make sure we got to go over that before we go into the rapid round too. But the rapid round, we just take a hit and then we say the first thing that comes to your mind
Oh boy.
when we go through these questions. All right.
Okay.
Sounds
It's going to be
good.
super fun.
Fair
It's
enough.
going to be super fun.
Fair enough.
We listened to one of your songs last night.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was really
Thank you.
good. It was dope.
I'm glad y'all liked it.
Yeah. It's good.
Nice. Was it She Just Wants to Party?
No, I think it was the drug song.
Yeah.
Drugs.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's good.
That was one of the
First thing
rap songs.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
as far as we got. We're like, this
Yeah.
is fucking cool. Tomorrow's gonna be awesome. And then we did something else.
Thank you. I'm glad.
We'll dig in more though.
Hey, thank you. I think you'll like She Just Wants to Party. That's
Yeah.
one of the big
We'll
Okay.
try it out.
tracks out there. So here we go. What kind of culture exists in your organization and how did you establish it?
Oh, culture of food safety and leadership, and only by example and being a servant to them. And yeah.
Customer service. Yeah. That's very customer service based, obviously.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. How has cannabis affected your life?
Improved it in a million ways. I could write a thesis on this one, and I might one day.
All right.
But this is
I
not
wanna-
rabbit round response.
It's not.
It's generally positive.
Good.
Here, you can take the next one.
What attributes does someone need to have to be really successful in a position like yours, Kevin?
What attributes? I'd say consistency, integrity. I think if you're going to be in this industry specifically, integrity is key because that's what follows you at the end of the day. That's what you go to bed with, is yourself and what you have as a person. So if you can look back and think, yeah, I'm 100%, we're good. That's what I want with our careers in this industry. And I want that to be what follows us for our clients. Yeah.
It's perfect. No, right. Follow that one.
Sorry.
Oh man. What do you think about? Well, see, yeah. All right, fuck it. What do you think about other testing labs?
What I think that they all have the opportunity to be great, and we started. This ain't going to be a rapid response.
No, it's not. These aren't even the rapid response.
Oh, I was
questions.
trying to be fast. Oh, okay.
Yeah, these aren't even the rapid
We
response.
could go back to that
questions.
other one if you want to, or we could save it.
Which
for
one?
Let me answer this one because
All
I
right.
want to answer this one. It's really important because they all get reputations for one thing or another.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, at the beginning of the day, we started consulting by fixing other laboratories and working with them, and it's that kind of like shared know-how
Mhm.
that brought us together. I mean, we were some of the initial folks with the AOAC Cannabis Analytical Science Program, which is the international body that approves most of your food testing methods. It's consensus methods. They're trying to make standard performance requirements and publish methods in cannabis.
Wow.
So
that's
that-
fucking fun.
we're trying to
man.
lead from that aspect, like standardize the technology, and then it just comes down to supporting your data, and it takes all this guesswork out of it. And then, things will get tighter and more consistent. So those labs that are kind of aiming for that, best practices from other industries, and always learning and sharing, we have an opportunity to that analogy, the rising tide raises all boats. We have to have good labs that we can rely on, but there's going to be a segment of labs that never gets it. And I don't have to name them. Like, people just know who they are, and they will know who they are. And eventually they suffer fates that you can watch in other states. When you end up, you can't really recover from something in the news that said you cheated.
Yeah.
Everyone's just always going to know that. And so it's like, you figure out where to go from there. But, we're just going to lead by doing things the right way. And if other labs call us to work with us, we do work with them. We depend on them in this state more than any, because we're allowed to work with each other. The COAs come from multiple laboratories for dispensary sales. It's not in Arizona. It's not the case in other states. So we depend on each other, and we actually need to self-identify, like, who are the ones we can trust. And like Kelsey said, sit down and just say, you know what, I feel good about what we've done here today.
And by working with them, like, so you mean like if you're running something, you getting this test result consistently throughout different batches or something? Like, would you ask a different testing facility to run it to see if they are getting the same thing?
Both, and all of the above. In some cases, you have like a client sample, and your pesticide machine goes down. I want to be able to call up one of the other labs and have them run for this. If our let's say something fails for aspergillus, but they want to, the client wants to challenge, and they can send it to another laboratory. It's like, well, we want to make sure that we're out working with good laboratories here, so everything in protecting the client and their data is reliable. Okay. But then there's opportunities in the future to do more than we're doing now, like round robin testing between us. Just put together some what we would call proficiency samples, even informally, and send them between the labs. And clients that are sophisticated do this all the time. They send to multiple labs to see what but sharing that data between the labs gives you an opportunity to say, well, what's going on here? Oh, maybe there's a standards company that's throwing a calibration off, and only 2 of the labs out of 9 of them knew about that. Yeah. It's like, well, we could have just uncovered a whole problem that's been confusing everybody in the state for since testing started here. But you don't know until you start working together.
Okay. Oh yeah. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
What was the other question you were saying we could go back to?
Oh man. So what cannabis, what it's done for me.
Oh.
So yeah, you said overall positive. Yeah.
Overall positive. Yeah, I mean.
Did you smoke cannabis before you went into the military?
Yeah, and I had to tell them. Like, and I was the one
they
idiot.
Asked, they were like,
yeah, I was the one idiot that went in there. So yeah, I'd smoked weed. I went to school for like music. Not even chemistry. Yeah. So I went to college, and I went to a conservatory of music, and so I had like a little bit of experience there. But by the time I got into grad school, it wasn't my thing anymore. I played football in undergrad. Went to grad school. I was like doing athletics there too. I was actually on the cheerleading team. And then I got in the military, right? So just doing all these things, right? Just wasn't part of my lifestyle.
So that's what it was.
But
you were out there practicing your moves and doing some backflips and stuff out on the island.
Out at
she caught you out there.
Oh yeah.
She was like, okay, I see you, man. I see you, man.
Just filling in you're filling in the blanks.
Yeah.
It's not that far off.
All right. Let's talk about this beautiful project we have right here.
Phenoterps.
Man, Phenoterps. I see some interesting names over here. I won't say them.
You can say them.
I can say them.
Yeah. These are standard flavors. Yeah, okay. These are profiles that you'll hear, products that you'll hear in the dispensary shelves, but are versions of them. These are the flavorings that go into concentrates. So while I'm sniffing these, can you all explain this project you got here? Sure thing. So, Phenoterps. The phenotypic, basically, essence of a cannabis plant is its essential oils, right? So we can find essential oils all throughout nature. Linalool and lavender, limonene, it's an orange. You can smell caryophyllene and pepper. So we could take essential oils from nature, and you can never recreate the cannabis plant. Right. But you can do some things, I think, to honor it with the right, terpene content. If you want to take some distillate oil and make a product that, since we don't have enough terpenes to go around during extraction, I mean, some of them end up in these like high market, products like live resins and things like that. But at the end of the day, you end up with more oil that doesn't have any flavor or terpene. And so if you want to put some of that cannabis essence back into it with, commercially available flavors, well, terpenes are just that. They're natural, organic, or available that way. And you can blend some things, together to recreate the strain. Not only using the data, but using your nose. And we have some really exceptional flavorists that we work with. And some of these smells that you're smelling here are not just the terpenes, but some other molecules and flavors.
These are amazing.
Yeah.
I was like, man. So I've been looking into cooking with terpenes, different terpenes, and everything. So that's why when I saw phenoterps, I got excited. I was like, wait, because there's actually her name's Chef Teresa. She sells some tinctures with terpenes, and you allow different recipes and stuff. So I was like, what is she on to? I love cooking myself, as you can see.
Yeah.
We got the book and the cooking show. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. As long as you ain't knock over the terps.
Hey, they smell good in here.
It does. Man. You want to smell some of these terps? Wow. So Chef Teresa has been cooking with some terpenes for a while now, and I've been like looking at her videos and watching what she's doing and everything, and I'm gonna find a way to incorporate in some of my recipes myself, because I do think that it's an extremely dope thing, and as you know, different terpenes could lead to different reactions in your body and everything. So
yeah, there's evidence for that. The entourage effect, is talked about a lot. What do the terpenes, the flavonoids, the cannabinoids all do together? Some of those molecules are exactly what you find in cannabis, though. I mean, the things that make you smile here are the kind of the candy flavor molecules, but it's that terpene base too, because it has the essence of the strain name. But if you don't have enough terpenes to go around and you want a nice marketable product, you can do some other great things that we can take from other industries like flavors and candy.
how concentrated is this? Are these vials right here?
They're pure terpenes. They're just ingredients. They're either flavor molecules or terpene molecules. So they're all flavor molecules that are commercially available. 7 to 20 components in each one of them. When you mix it with distillate and fill a cart, though, probably something around 3 to 4, maybe 5%. It depends regionally too. You go out to California, it's like 15% terpenes, like really super. Like that's just not my preference, but
it's like super fruity and flavorful
or super terpy too. Like you can pull way back on all these flavors and like just have a pure terpene, like, and just really mimic a sour diesel and like really hit it right on the head. That's totally possible. But the flavors are hot and they sell.
Yeah.
So that's just what it is right now.
It is true. A lot of people are really in love with it.
Well, here's the thing. There's an opportunity. You get like something like a GMO cookie. You can add some things that give you like note of oatmeal and raisin in there that like aren't just terpenes. And it's like, that's where you have an opportunity for art. When I started doing this, it was just, Kelsey and I were mixing terpenes based on GC data. And, it was doing really, really well. But then, at some point, like I said, have the right team. We brought on a flavorist that we partner with to create these things.
Yeah.
And
that was my next question. What is your ultimate goal with phenoterps?
Just to be another, pickaxes and shovels, support system to the supply chain. While we have a testing lab, we can't, really grow ourselves or extract. We'd like to do some of those things.
Is there rules preventing somebody from owning a testing lab, from owning a dispensary?
Well, we wouldn't be able to use our testing lab to test those products.
Okay.
So there's
that
rules.
was going to be my other question. Tyson has their own testing facility. Is it possible a dispensary can own the testing facility?
So that's the thing. Every state kind of takes on that calculation of what are we going to let people do? What is your government going to check for, and what are they going to trust you with? And it could. I think it's kind of a step in that direction, letting labs work together. And in this state, we can own stuff, but this is. The goal of phenoterps is really just to provide some variety and some enhancement to the market. Okay. There are some really, really great products and dispensaries here. The oils, especially the live resins and things. People are getting really good at that stuff. And our clients make exceptional products. I think there's always an opportunity though, because most of the terpenes that are sold on the market are made by 3 or 4 different people. If you can get hooked up with somebody that can on the spot create a bespoke formulation for you and change all these and tweak it to match your product vision, well, then you can put something on the shelf that nobody else has got. And there's not that variety in Arizona yet. So that's what we're trying to bring here.
That's what you want to do. You want to curate the terp world.
That's right.
Let's
Just help improve it, a little more variety, because everyone has their, that's the thing with lab testing, there is a right and wrong way to do it. You're defensible and you're honest, you're not. With terpenes, it's your art and it's your flavor, and every product that you take off the shelf is good for some people and not for others, and it's completely a preference. So it comes down to, do I like the flavor or not? And that's where we have an opportunity to create and be different. And it's actually better to be different.
So is this all the flavors you're working with, or about how many are you working with all together?
Oh, hundreds and hundreds. So we're actually a flavor. We bill ourselves as a flavor house. I mean, we have formulations. I mean, based on just so much data, but more importantly, different formulations we've come up with along the way for different clients. My partner in California puts flavors into lots of really big brands now. Like, I won't mention who they are. I want our products here to be in brands here, but there's some really well-known brands that he's in. Forgot where I was going with that.
Flavors. Known for flavors.
We are, so right, we're a flavor house. We go way outside of just terpene mixes and flavors. We can make any one of these water soluble. We can create a drink out of it or a tincture.
I need it. Water soluble terps.
Yeah.
Putting it right in the Gatorade.
That's right. I mean, we've come up with prototypes for all kinds of stuff. And this has been our fun. So when we're in the trenches raising money and not doing anything for years, trying to set up, you start to get creative. And we have got a lot of kind of like prototype IP. I mean, that we just kind of want to share and get products out there. So we're just kind of teasing now and saying, hey, who wants to work with us? And let's create something together. And then
nice. I love to hear it, and definitely can't wait to see what all you all end up mixing these in. You got to give me the scoop. I got to know so I can know which products.
We'll let you know which brands they end up in.
Yep. Let me know. All right. We are about to get into the rapid response questions, ladies and gentlemen. We have been sitting here for a nice time. These young, beautiful folks do not know what they've gotten into. So I'm going to grab something out of my bag for us to smoke.
Ooh. I promise not to drop it this time.
And shout out to the new homie who's actually down in Tucson. This is tight. This is crazy. This is how the universe works. Shout out to the new homie. I just met her last week, Jeter Sophia. She's out in Tucson, and she gave me this infused Durban poison.
Okay. It's about to be a smoked infused Durban poison.
Oh yeah. So
Jeter.
shout out to Jeter and all of the Jeter crew. Jeter Emily, Jeter Angel, Jeter Raquel, Jeter Zay, my boy Jeter Jordan, all the Jeter Sophia, Jeter Katie. I'm probably making names up by now. My boy Jeter Josh.
Jeter Johnny.
Jeter Johnny. Shout out to Jeter. I know it's a Jeter Johnny out there. I know it's a Jeter Josh. So even if I haven't met you yet, I fuck with you. But we about to spark up this Jeter right now. And
you know the story behind that, right?
No.
The guys they used to. Well, I heard the story secondhand, but they used to go out front after school, and it was like their secret code. Let's go smoke a Jeter. That's all I remember from when they came to meet a couple months ago. And I still, if anybody from Jeter's listening, we want your business. We want to test for you.
Yes.
We love your product.
All 30,000 of you on here. Somebody got to work for Jeter.
Somebody's out there.
Out of you 30,000 people watching.
Statistically,
somebody
sampling.
Exactly.
Yeah.
out of the 30,000 people watching, somebody works for Jeter. And
Especially
we
with all those
want you
people
to
you
let
rattled
them
off. They
know.
gotta have like 500 employees.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no,
It's
like,
Johnny, several Johnnies.
but no. I mentioned a nice amount of real Jeter people.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Jeter crew, man. I love the Jeter family, man. This is some gas right here. Speaking of Jeter, though, at the end of the month, are you all gonna be at Meta?
Yeah,
You see
strong.
who's gonna be there?
Ricky Williams.
Ricky fucking Williams, eh? That's not even his last name no more.
I don't
What
know who
is
that
it?
is.
Wait, didn't he?
It's he changed his last name. It's like Myron or something like that.
I don't know.
I believe so.
We gotta Google it.
What's let me Google this. Ricky Williams' new last name.
He went on like a whole yoga, finding himself, peace, love, and
And he took his wife's last name. Yeah,
Oh,
Myron.
Matthew.
Eric Myron. There we go. Shout out to Ricky Williams.
Hey.
Taking his wife's name.
hope I get a chance to meet him. That'd be cool.
I gotta smoke with him. I wanna put you know what? At the end of the month, I'm taking even if I gotta take my damn Xbox, I wanna play Madden and smoke with Ricky Williams at the end of the month. I will take my Xbox to fucking meet him.
Manifest that shit.
You know what his podcast? No.
Manifest.
This one is Cannabis and Coffee, but your other one was Manifested.
Manifested this. Yeah.
Oh, there you
It's
go.
the tagline for the company.
Ooh,
All right.
there you go.
Hey, see? Thank you. Oh wow. All right. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, rabbit round.
We are entering the rapid round. Yes, we are.
What are the rules? How many words do we get maximum? Or is it kind of subjective?
It's just the
Okay,
first
yeah.
thing, you know.
We'll play.
Yeah.
There we go. Loosen up, everybody. Loosen up.
It's Jeter.
All right. Since you just handed me this, what's your favorite cannabis event and why?
Earl Cup, because we met more patients and other people connected to the industry that we wanted to meet and connect with and serve. So Earl Cup was great. I saw you there.
Yeah.
And
I
shout
was
out
there.
to
I was
the
there.
waffle guy
Oh,
at Earl Cup.
Waffle guy?
The
What's his
chicken and
name?
waffles.
Mr.
Mr.
Fabulous.
Oh shit.
He was good.
Mr. Fabulous. Holy crap, chicken and waffles.
Yeah,
And like just
that was amazing shit.
they better
All
bring
right.
him back.
So when she hands you this, hand her that because this next one is for her. What is your favorite cannabis strain?
Oh my gosh. Oh, a mimosa from Humboldt. Yeah.
I've had a mimosa. I've had a watermelon mimosa.
Oh,
Yeah, from True Infusion.
no
It was
freaking
so
way.
fucking gas.
Was it?
It was so gas.
I believe that.
All right.
That's amazing.
Trying to play and be fair. Trying to play right.
So you got 24 hours to spend with somebody dead, and you're smoking a pound. Who are you spending it with?
Dead?
Yeah, they're deceased. Dead as a doorknob, but you brought them back for 24 hours to smoke with you. You have to pick their brain. Anybody,
Oh man,
no matter how long they've been dead.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of my relatives from, previous generation. Probably my great uncle Rick, Robert, who I'm named after. Rick. I'm named after Uncle Rick.
Like Rick and Morty.
Robert Levick died in Operation Market Garden in World War II.
Wow.
My number two, if I could tell you, would be my grandfather on my mom's side, who was he was in D-Day and some other stuff. He's on Normandy, but he made it, so I'm here. But I'm named after a guy that did make it. So that's what got me into the military and made me go airborne. So I just
family tradition.
Yeah, I just screwed up the whole fire round.
No, man, it's good. It's good. You know, you went into that and appreciate that. You
got to hit it.
I just did.
My answer was too long. You got to go again.
All right. Now you must let me know. You get 24 hours to spend with somebody that's alive.
Oh, same question.
No, they are
Oh,
alive.
alive.
Yeah, you can't go into the other realm.
I picked
They are alive.
Had a dead person.
Yeah.
Who are you spending that time with?
Oh my gosh.
I should have asked you what strain are you smoking with them too.
Yeah. Alive. Ooh, I don't know. Okay. It's gonna be
Somebody popped in her head already.
my
She didn't
grandpa.
want to say the
Okay,
first
no,
name.
not
it's
Not dead.
that's right.
Alive.
Alive. The first person is
You want to spend 24 hours.
I'm gonna say family, but also Tool. Is that weird? I'm a big Tool fan.
a solid. Smoke a pound with Tool.
I would.
Yeah.
I totally would.
All right.
Hey, that's a good answer. I thought you were gonna say me. I would have been like Kelsey. I'm like, oh, she's taking a long time because she thinks it's a dead person. And she's like,
I'm Tool. I was really hung up on like the dead person.
I'm like, man. Yeah. Well, I think you're a little hung up on the live person. Is my point.
Oh yeah.
Yo. For fuck's sake.
Sorry, yeah. Shit.
It's all good. I would hang out with Tool too. I'd be like, Kelsey, nah.
You introduced me
I
to
did-
Tool, man.
I did the last 24 hours with Kelsey.
She said
Fuck
it's
that.
your
I'm out.
fault.
Yeah, that's right.
She said you should have never played.
You shouldn't have put the idea in my head.
Oh man.
Oh.
All right.
That was
You
fun.
had a magic stick and you could change 3 things in the world. What are you changing?
Wait, me or him? It's you.
It was
imagine.
it was to him, but
Yeah, it's to you.
don't
I
worry.
answered the last one. It's to you.
3 things.
3 things.
Holy shit.
You can't wish for more wishes.
No, I know that. I would accelerate our space exploration.
Hey.
I think it would unify a lot of people. It's 3 things I would change.
Mhm.
Yeah, I want to know what's going on with the UFO thing. That thing's kind of connected.
Oh, you
Right.
think so?
Yeah, there's. Yeah, I want to know more about what's up. You know,
You know, like the International Space Force.
no, not so much because they're just another incompetent military branch, I'm sure. But I want to know what's actually happening. You know, the unidentified reports. I mean, it could all just be smoke and mirrors, but that's always been a curiosity. And then
And you believe?
I think that there's something different than we understand. And I think the statistics are almost impossible to ignore when it comes to other viable environments to produce what's been produced here. I don't think it's completely out of the realm. But, something visiting us, or is it some other technology? I have no idea, but I'd love to know. But number 3
So
would be,
he does believe in aliens, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm not going to disbelieve in aliens.
Oh no, listen. I believe.
You believe.
Listen, you know how many universes there are?
Multiple.
Yeah.
No idea.
So
We can't
to
comprehend.
us, they are aliens, but to them, they aren't aliens.
Sure thing. Yeah, no, there are dimensions beyond our comprehension as well.
They walk among us.
And when we finally get a little bit of control over those dimensions and the powers that they have, I think number 3 can be answered. And I would do something about the world's food supply chain. Because
Okay.
hunger causes most of our problems.
It does.
When it
And
comes
that's-
down to it,
is
things
that
get
not- is
really,
that
really
not
nasty
greed,
when
though?
things get sparse.
Is
Just look what happens when
hunger-
you run out of fucking toilet paper.
Is
Look
hunger
what people do to
not
each other.
caused by greed?
Who knows? It doesn't. I mean, yeah, the root cause analysis I think is more complicated than what would you change? Now I'd get rid of this big problem. But yeah, is it caused by greed? I don't know. Probably by human nature, but ultimately by resources. Now, but we're smart. We could allocate
Resilient
resources.
folks.
We could there, and that's why I think the push to go beyond is something that could help solve that problem out of necessity, because technology would develop. What's our best technology developer now? War.
Sucks.
You know why
But
we're
that's
so
true.
good with an ambulance in the
It's
street?
so fucking true.
Because we learned that in Vietnam, if you can save someone in the first hour, they call it the golden hour, you can save their lives. And so most people, if you're not dead like that in the last few campaigns we had, you're going to make it because of our medevac capability. But that capability comes out of necessity. And that's how we have these massive advances in healthcare is from, fucking each other up with the technology first.
It's terrible. It's
Awful.
terrible. All right. Let's get back to the rapid response questions.
I did it again.
No, you're good. Because I mean, these are some open questions that could lead you down, to a longer response. So,
Yeah, this one.
Okay.
what was the first concert you attended?
No doubt. And a bunch of like Hawaiian reggae.
That's right. You were on the island.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if that counts to
did
me.
a lot
but-
of people tour?
No. No. No.
I would imagine that stop is pretty expensive on
I
the,
think
on the
like
tour.
When
like
they want to go on a vacation.
That's
Like,
when they
who
go
do
to
we see?
Hawaii.
Like, is that Avenged Sevenfold or somebody like that?
yeah, we saw Avenged Sevenfold
And
out
it's just like
there.
a bunch of military kids.
Yeah.
With like a half-filled
Yeah.
arena. It's like, these guys are here to go to Waikiki. Hang out.
Lots of R&B like artists from the 90s, like tour
Okay.
Hawaii when they go on vacation, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's nice. I like No Doubt. No Doubt has some dope music.
Yeah. Very good.
What about you? What's the first concert you attended?
I'll tell you the first concert I didn't go to that I'll never forgive my mom for.
Always comes up.
Yeah, I was like, I just turned 16, and I grew up on the east side of Cleveland, like 30 minutes out from downtown. But was never allowed to go down. Not at 16, it wasn't allowed to go downtown.
Okay.
I bought tickets to go see Primus.
See who?
Primus.
Oh.
Les Claypool, something like metalhead and funk, but jazz and all that. I'm a musician, right? So
Yeah.
I'm in all that stuff, and I was so amped up to finally see something live and in person that I've been just listening to on like CDs and tapes. And my mom was like, "Nah, I don't feel good about you going downtown anymore," and canceled it on me. And so I don't remember my first concert because I've been to so many. I like work security concerts, like I played in a
Damn, that's
bunch.
sad, man.
It might have been Metallica like the next year, like is something like that, but it wasn't memorable.
That's sad.
It's not as memorable as not ever seeing still Les Claypool.
Yeah.
It was just something I would like to see.
Damn, man. That's unfortunate. G. Where do you most want to visit?
Home.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. A beach in Hawaii. That's where I want to be.
All right. What's your ideal way to spend the weekend? He said not working.
Yeah. Reclined.
I'm not even gonna answer
Yeah.
that one.
All right.
Yeah.
What skill would you like to master?
Oh shit. So
Customer
many.
service in the Arizona testing market.
Yeah.
All right. What talent would you most like to have?
Oh, okay, fine. I love music, but I'm not musically inclined whatsoever. Like, not at all.
What do you consider your greatest achievement?
Marion Kelsey.
I would say the same. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, yeah, vice versa.
Look at this. Look at this. No PDA, guys. Come on now.
Nah,
No.
don't touch it.
What motivates you to work?
Oh,
Being
Our-
broke.
yeah.
Okay, startup life is a different animal. Sorry.
Yeah,
It is.
our people though, because they rely on us
Yeah.
sustaining, an operation. Their lives depend on it.
Yeah, they do.
And what's your most treasured possession?
Possession? I don't know. What's most treasured possession?
No, I don't know. I'm not about.
I guess
things.
All of your belongings are at home. Like, I can't believe.
No. But technically, since you can own a dog, right? We own our dogs, and those are
Yeah.
that's our treasured possession.
Yeah.
Dope.
Brandy
We
and
down
Patrick.
to the last 4 questions. These are the toughest questions you might ever answer in your life.
Oh boy.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Got another Jeter, or is this
I'm just building the dramatics right now.
still not up at 30,000 yet? Just
Sweating.
burning a little time.
What's the best advice you've ever been given?
Wow.
I know, right? I said toughest questions you'll ever answer in your life.
Oh my God. Just my mom, her voice echoes in my head. Play it straight, kid. Like, do something that is good for people and stay on the straight and narrow, and that's it.
Yeah.
That just echoes in my head.
If you could change one thing about yourself, Kelsey, what would it be?
about myself. Mm, giving myself the love that I give others.
Ooh, that was deep. You gotta unpack that
Retrospect.
one. Gotta unpack that one.
It's a lot.
Wow.
All right. What's a goal you hope to achieve within the next year?
Oh my God, make this laboratory a self-sustaining success with clients that never want to leave us.
And you hinted to this earlier, but you kind of gotta tell us now. If you could write a book about yourself, what would you name it?
Don't do this.
Ladies and gentlemen, Robert Kelly. Kelsey. I'm so fucking. I said that twice already.
No, you said Kelsey.
No, I said Kelsey once, and then I said Kelly, and then I said Kelsey again. It is the fucking Jeter. No. Kelsey, Robert, Cannabis and Coffee.
Awesome.
It's amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for sitting down. This was a dope time. I can't wait to come out to Tucson and see the facility myself. I'm going to hop in one of those suits and then go through the air pressure. And yeah, I've been in a few little spots, but I want to do a follow-up sometime in the fall, possibly, and come on site and then do something live from the site.
We'd love to have you there.
Yeah.
Totally.
Thank you. Maybe I'll bring some of my weed and we could test it.
We could test it right on the spot, and by the end of the podcast, we'll have results.
Are you fucking serious?
Serious as a heart attack, man.
Oh,
It's like minutes in turnaround time.
I'll have it.
You heard it here.
you hear it here. The follow-up interview we're doing on site, and I'm bringing weed to get tested. That's gonna be fun.
Yes, sir.
I know a couple growers. We're gonna see, buddy. No, I'm just playing. All my people legit. All right, see y'all next time. Tune in next week. I'm gonna have you'll find